It is Tuesday. I don't even know what month it is. It's so cold outside. January 20th, 2025. What's up? How y'all doing? Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. So keep going, keep going, keep going. We got about 4 weeks left in this trimester, and you can handle your business. So make that happen. Okay. So I don't know that I want to go through all this, but I'm just going to walk through it again. Just remember, insert drawing. That's how you get the text box. Then you're going to click and draw the box, fill it with white, have a black border, boom, and then go ahead and type in the answers to the question. Make sure to adjust the text box to the size that you're supposed to have, and then go ahead and place it in there and make sure nothing is blocking each other. Well, we're going to walk through that, but I just wanted you guys to be able to see that. What does it mean? Oh, the dream. Okay, so grab what does it mean absences? Here we go. So you guys see the questions, you guys see what to do. So as a student, how could you apply this to your life? I think we went through this in yesterday's video, so we're not going to walk through this today, but there's a couple classes that we're still here. And as a student, I think something that might be helpful when you're looking at these graphs is this a positive or negative slope? If it's a negative slope, that means as one thing is increasing, the other thing is decreasing. So as the number of absences go up, as you guys see, the number of absences is going up, then the grade is actually going down as the number of absences go up. And that's a negative slope. That always lets you know, like, one thing is going to be going up on the graph and the other thing is going to be going down. Okay, so let's keep it pushing. So these are the 4 that we more or less covered yesterday. So we should have those done. If you guys have questions about those, please let me know. We are going to go over, and again, you just need to answer these questions, right? So how could this help me fly a paper airplane? How could this help me if I have an ice cream shop? And let's just talk to that one just for a second. Like, how could this data help me if I have an ice cream shop? Well, the trend seems to be that as the temperature goes up, then ice cream sales go up. And so you may talk to things to say, maybe I need more employees if the temperature's higher. Maybe I need to order more ice cream because the temperature's higher. You could also delve deeper into that by saying, like, oh, well, maybe I'm going to look at the flavors and see what flavors are selling. And then that way I know exactly what to order. So things like that. So again, you have this one right here, which is talking about, does this data apply to 2024? Or I think I changed it to be 2025. A lot of students said no, they didn't think that it applied because they said that data is 125 years old compared to the data we're looking at here on this data table, which starts in the year 1901. So they're like, that data is so old that it doesn't apply to baseball now. And I'm like, oh, these are some pretty good things. These are pretty good things. And then that last one is, how can you apply this data to your life? So think about that as your student, knowing these things about absences. How can you apply that to your life? Let's keep it pushing on to this one. Okay, so how does distance affect gravitational force? So what do you guys think? So this one is from 4 meters, right? When the objects are 4 meters apart. And this one is when the objects are 6 meters apart. So they're further apart. So how does distance seem to affect gravitational force according to the graph? So again, that's the question that you want to answer. And it looks to me like gravitational force is increasing at a higher rate, right? So gravitational force is higher when the objects are closer together. That's what it looks like from the graph. Because when they're further apart right here at 6 meters, they seem to be, the gravitational force doesn't increase at the same rate. So gravitational force is not increasing at the same rate. So that's what it seems like, what I see in this graph. All right. Make sure again to get that in the text box, insert drawing, white background, black outline, and then type in the question answer. So we'll go over that one more time. We'll go over that at the very end. And then we've got, what does it mean? This is the last one. I promise. This is it. There's no more. This is it. That is the last one, like for real, for real. So, Miley, thank you for helping us with asking the question, what does the data on the graph mean? So what is the overall trend that you see? So that's the first question. And then the second question here is, how can you apply this data to help you grow larger plants? What pH seems to be the best for growing the largest plants? So just look at the graph and answer those questions. So again, those are the questions for you to answer. So do your very best. Now, once you've got all of that done, so that should be a data table, a chart, and then a text box for each one of these assignments, right? So for each one of these sheets. Then what you're going to do is you're going to come on down here to the graphing 2.0. You should be close to ready to turn this in. I gave everyone till Thursday so people can do some fine tuning, ask some questions. People are coming in for a graph session tutorial today because some people are needing help. Totally cool. Okay, so let's just go ahead and look at this assignment. Hold on, boom, let's go ahead and look at this assignment inside of modules. So we'll go there, not there, here, boom, and it should be in modules. It should be here on Thursday because that's when it's due. And let's just look through this assignment real quick. So if you look, you've got the first 4 graphs, and we've kind of already went over those in class. You should have the text box on those. Then you have the 5th graph right here, right? And that's the 5th sheet, and that's the one we just talked about, right? And then the 6th sheet, and that's also the one we just talked about. So you should have all of those. And then what you want to do is make sure all data tables and charts graphs are formatted properly. Format data tables, all borders, text centered, titles bolded, right? Create a scatter chart with a trend line that is visible, vertical and horizontal axes, and are labeled and bolded. So these are some of the common mistakes that I saw. So I'm just going to pull those up, and I kind of just replicated some of the most common mistakes that I see here. So you want to make sure to go back through all of your graphs and make sure that this is good. One mistake was that your chart is actually blocking your actual data table. So people had their chart on, sometimes people had it like this. So again, you want your chart to be over here, somewhere over here. And some of the things that you're going to want to do is, I'm going to change the size of this chart because I feel like it's a little bit too big for the data table. So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller so it fits in there well. Okay, cool. And then as you can see here, we're also missing the borders. So I'm just going to click in A1, hit shift, and then click down there. And I think that's C8, right? And then let me move myself so I can put the borders on. Okay, boom, all borders. And then right here, I'm going to go ahead and center. Cool. And then I think that's everything there. Yeah. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit the plant group right there. And then I'm just going to hold down shift and click in B1 and then click in C1. And then I'm going to click bold. Boom. Now my chart is good to go. I mean, my data table is good to go. And as you can see, the only thing that is bolded is the title. So I just want to make sure that that is good there. Now, I'm going to click here, right? And when I double click on there, it opens the chart editor, and it opens it up to the chart and axis titles, and then where the chart title is at. So I think that that is good. I'm going to go ahead and bold it. I'm going to go ahead and center it, and then I'm going to go ahead and make it black right there. Boom. Then I'm going to double click here, and I'm going to say bold. Double click there, bold. Double click here. Again, I'm just bolding these things so that they're easy and they stand out. Again, this is just for presentation purposes. And then if you look, we're actually missing the vertical axis title, right? Now, because we've clicked here, we're actually need to go to where it says vertical, so chart and axis titles, right? Boom. And then it's horizontal axis titles. We need the vertical one. And then this one should be, since this one down here is plant group. Oh no, we have messed this up, because what should be on here is pH of soil and plant growth. Oh, you know what that means? When we grabbed all the data, we also grabbed the plant group, which is not part of the data. So we're going to have to go back. Yes, some of you guys are going to have to go back and delete. And then you're going to have to go, okay, pH of soil, hold down shift, click here. Now I'm going to insert the chart. Because when I originally inserted it, I put too much data on there. So now I got to go back and do that again. And yes, some of you guys, that's exactly what you're going to have to do. It is what it is, my friend. Some of you guys are going to have to go back, because the only one that should have 2 lines is the gravitational forces, but that's because we're graphing 2 different things there. So again, boom, boom. Now I'm just repeating the things that I'm supposed to be doing because my original one was wrong. And some of you guys, that is exactly what is going to happen. So just realize that you're going to have to go back and change it, because this last graphing 2.0 is going to count as a quiz. Okay, now I need to look at, does all of my data fit on my data table? It doesn't look like it does, so I need to make some changes there. So I'm going to change the minimum maximum. I'm going to just double click here, double click there, and then I'm going to change my minimum maximum. I'm going to go, I think what a lot of people did was 5.5. There is a set of different ranges that would work for you, and then I'm just going to go to 7.5 and see how I like that one. I feel like the data is a little bit too small, so I'm going to go 5.8. And then I'm going to go at 7.4. Let's see. Oh, 0.4. Now I like the numbering. It looks like it's easy to read. This looks good. And then remember on this one, when we when we put the trend line, remember the trend line is in series. Okay, the trend line is in series. That we went with the trend line that was the best fit. A lot of people went with this one, right? Or people went with this one, moving average. Either way, I'm okay with it. I'm gonna stick with moving average, and then. Since we're going to just show you from start to finish, now we're going to go ahead and say insert, and we're going to insert the drawing. And if you're like, oh, I forgot what that was, you can just go to the agenda slides and you can pull up what the questions are, right? And so I'm going to go ahead and click on text box, and I'm going to draw that text box, boom, right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and fill it white, and then put on a border right here, bam. And then, oh, I filled it with black. My bad, yo. Let me fill it. Okay. Totally cool right here. And then just say 1 and say, what does the data on the graph mean? Overall, right? Overall, and again, I'm typing in the questions. You guys got to type the answers. Overall trend. What is the overall trend here? Okay, right? And then as I click number 2, then, and by the way, for the listing, all I did was put the number 1, press period, and spacebar, boom. Then that starts to put it in a list for you. We kind of talked about that yesterday, but I'm just going to repeat that. And then the next one is, how can this data help you? Right, help you. Oh, my fingers are cold. With growing plants, right, or maximum plant growth. So again, then here, now that I have all my everything typed on my text box, I'm gonna go ahead and make that a little bit smaller, and then tighten it up right here. And then just, well, I don't like the way that collapsed down like that, so I want it. I guess it's okay. And then I'm gonna say save and close, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just click on it. And then I can just move it right here. It seems to fit pretty well right there. Everything looks pretty good. And this is how things should look. And I'm just going to center it right here in this area. I like to have it just underneath the data table. So then that way you have the data table. You have some information and conclusions about the actual graph or the chart, and then you have the chart right here to the right. So you have everything nice and grouped together, okay? Nice and easy to read. So make sure nothing is overlapping, right? You got everything bolded, and you got everything good to go. So go back and check each one of your charts and make sure it is formatted in this way. All right, y'all, that's everything for today. Handle that business. Peace.